Welcome back to the Drive-In Exploitation Challenge for April. This is day 5. I got in a number of films today, believe it or not. First off, I watched on YouTube Mondo Cane, 1962. It was the first film of the series that kind of kicked off the world oddity type shock-you drama type films that was written by and directed by Italian filmmakers. It's basically a series of travelogue vignettes, glimpses into cultural practices like breastfeeding a pig in New Guinea, of all crazy things. They're showing off a restaurant in New York that was serving fried ants and insects and all kinds of crap like that. Some of it's fairly mundane, like it included the running of the bulls in Spain. This first film, I think, was relatively tame, to be honest. I mean, they got a lot more shocking, or at least attempted to shock you as the series progressed. But the first film's not particularly, just not like Faces of Death or anything like that. Anyway, it's an hour and 47 minutes. You can check it out on YouTube. Next up is The Stranger and the Gunfighter, or also known as Blood Money, starring Lee Van Cleef and I guess one of Hong Kong's most famous action heroes at the time, Lo Lee. This was a film collaboration that was produced by the Shaw Brothers. Apparently, the Shaw Brothers decided they wanted to. This is 1974 too, by the way, and I think the Shaw Brothers were at that point trying to diversify. But honestly, this mix of kung fu and spaghetti western and comedy was a bit much. I just think that it was a bit much. Lee Van Cleef is always interesting to look at, always fun to watch. But honestly, I mean, you've got too much going on here, and really, the kung fu is non-existent. Basically, the extent of the storyline is a martial arts expert comes to America's Wild West to investigate the death of his uncle. And he meets up with Lee Van Cleef, and they make an uneasy, strange alliance that's supposed to be funny and supposed to be entertaining, but it's really not. I mean, it's just not. So I think this one was a bit of a failure at all, from all aspects. I would give it a 5 out of 10. Next up is the final film of the Flesh trilogy by the Findlay husband-wife duo, the Findlays, and that is The Kiss of the Flesh. First off, let me say one thing. This broad here, his name is Donna Stone. She was basically in 3 or 4 of these Findlay vehicles, and that was it. She is fully fleshed out in every respect. I thought I've looked her up, tried to figure out what happened to her, and unfortunately, other than these 3 or 4 films she did with the Findlays, that's all there is to know about the girl. But she's built like a brick shithouse. This one actually, this third film, Kiss of Her Flesh, is very much straight up slasher territory. It still has a little bit of the titillation type stuff, but none of the extended stripping scenes that we saw in the first 2 films. This is basically a straight up slasher film with some very creative murder weapons. You've got a tire iron, you've got electrocution by hooking up wires to the girl's earrings, and of course it's attached to what was obviously a car battery, but we're not gonna get too specific here. How about torture by lobster claws? And then finally the coup de grace. Well, there is a blowtorch killing, and finally the coup de grace is death by swallowing poison sperm. It's just I mean, you got to see the shit to believe it. It really is. This film just. I'm not sure where you go after this one because death by poison sperm, lesbian sex with your sister. Uh, I mean, it's just they just don't. They just pull out all the stops in this final film, and it's fun as hell. It really is fun as hell, and yeah, it's a pretty nice. Well, not nice, but it's a pretty entertaining trilogy of films that I think. Uh, deserve a watch, for particularly those that are kind of into the 42nd Street sleazerama type stuff. It was. I gotta admit, it finished strong. I'm gonna give the last film a 6 out of 10. Last up is the fourth of the Dirty Harry series, and that is Sudden Impact. Sudden Impact was done in 1983, and it's the only one that was directed by Clint Eastwood himself. And it's a vehicle. This one is starting to become, in my opinion, a self-indulgent vehicle, like Sandra Locke, Eastwood's longtime live-in girlfriend, gets a major part in this film, and I don't think she can. I think she's a very wooden actress. But the film is really Sudden Impact to me. It's entertaining, it really is. But it as you watch it, it doesn't hold up to rewatch. And the Dirty Harry films, really are just each film. It's each film after Dirty Harry is what I would say is a half a rating point on a 1 out of 10 scale, dropping. Dirty Harry is easily an 8, 9 kind of rating, and then you just go downhill from there. Half a point, half a point, half a point, all the way down. I actually think Sudden Impact is probably a 6, 6.5, because it's too cartoony. It's really not. It's just a series of vignettes showcasing what we've already seen before with Dirty Harry. And it gives him an opportunity to say his catchphrases, which is cool. But we've seen it all before. I mean, we saw it in Dirty Harry, we saw it in Magnum Force and The Enforcer, and so it's just very repetitive, almost to the point of being a parody of itself or a cartoon. It's very cartoonish in its script and the overall storyline, which in turn kind of makes it hard to take particularly seriously or be engaged to the level of, say, the original Dirty Harry film, which was a very serious, gritty crime drama. This is just a parody of itself, and it's becoming more and more excessive. Having said all that, I still enjoy watching it, and it's actually, of all the films, it had the biggest box office success of all the films. It made $67 million. And I do like the farting bulldog. I can't deny it. I love the little bulldog that kind of becomes Callahan's mascot. I wonder kind of what happened to that dog. Anyway, of course the catchphrase "Go ahead and make my day" became Eastwood's bumper sticker used in his when he was running for mayor in California. Yeah, so that's it. That's all I really have to say about Sudden Impact. It's certainly entertaining, but it's turn your mind off because you really don't spend a whole lot of time delving too deep into this plot. There's just not a whole lot here. It's a very comic bookish type film. So that will wrap up day 5. Appreciate you watching, and feel free to leave me your thoughts below in the comment section. Thanks.